Hello, everybody, and welcome to my non-spoiler review of The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. So yes, it is dropping. We're dropping this today on a Thursday. The film does come out tomorrow on December 13th. And yes, of course, us and a few of us eligible fans have had the chance to watch the movie. We actually got to watch the premiere last week. So I've had a bit of a week to sit down and think about my thoughts on the film, and I'll be, of course, giving an overview, a general overview of what I think about the film. And of course, I know currently on Rotten Tomatoes it is, I think it's under 60%, which means it is rotten, but there's been lots of different reviews out there. And of course, it's up to general preference as well. So, yeah, I'm just saying that from the start that I know currently the film is not getting, not say bad reviews, but it's in the middle currently. So, yes, with that aside, I think, yeah, The War of the Rohirrim, of course, watching it on the big screen and firstly having a return to Middle Earth, regardless if it is an anime of this level, is still really, really fun. And I thought there were some absolutely brilliant parts of the film for Tolkien fans. I think this is where maybe some of the reviews are coming from, because it is, I guess, quote unquote, it is in simplicity, it's quite a simple story. It's about, Helm Hammerhand is king. He loses his home for a bit. He has to retreat and he has to fight for his people. And then you got this simple father and daughter relationship there. And I think the best thing about the film was Helm Hammerhand and the relationship with Hedda and how that all worked out. And boy, I know people going into this worrying, oh my god, this is going to be a heroine. Oh, it's going to be this and that. It's going to be all about Hedda. But Helm Hammerhand was brilliant in this, I think. Of course, I guess people who watch this know about what happens in the film and in the lore. So this is a mini spoiler from the book. Of course, his death was, I think, brilliant. And I think overall, I really liked Hedda's character. And once you actually see this all play out, you say, okay, I now understand why we needed her as a character, because otherwise we see his other two sons die, etc. And despite that, Freya still did have his big moment that did not disappoint. But I think that one of the issues, I think, not issues, but one of the things I think I had with the film was that it was really, there were lots of callbacks to Lord of the Rings films, which you were like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes. And of course, I won't go through all of them because I'll leave that for you guys to see in cinemas yourself. But I just feel like there was maybe sometimes it was a bit too much of the edge, a bit like Rings of Power in a sense, where they were going too much to callbacks to the original trilogy. So I feel like that was there, especially Freya left coming near the end. It's very reminiscent of something else, but I just feel like you're just doing something again, but it doesn't have that same emotional weight and lift. But aside from that, that's just like a quick, I know I've been bouncing all over the place, but starting off with actual fighting and battle, the fights and battle was very good, supported by a very excellent score by Stephen Gallagher. I think it did really support um, the battles, and I think that even the first hour where we had the moment killed, where we had the Watcher in the water, and I know some people are saying, okay, this is not part of the story in the appendices. Why do you need it? But then, and I actually, after being able to talk to the director Kenji Kamiyama, it made a lot more sense. This is an anime. We have to remember at the same time. And the one thing animes are known for are their massive monsters, creatures, fights, and battles. And when you get a Lord of the Rings anime, I'm sure they're going to want to include lots of features because it's a big part of anime is fighting battle. So I know some people might like it, some people might not like it, but I think after hearing that context, I do quite like the whole Mumakil and Watcher scenario. But at the same time, I would totally understand if some people thought that was a bit out of place. And I think following that, the film, I just think maybe was a bit too long. I think the first hour and a half was really good. The pacing was good. It was like back to back to back. I really loved the political drama at the start in Rohan, with, of course, that Lord did end up betraying them. And of course, it was potentially building to that. And also Helm, not potentially not listening. I think the strongest part for me was all the stuff with Helm in Helm's Deep, or at this time, the Hornberg. I think him going into night, I loved how they didn't actually show the killings he did out on the battlefield. It was almost kind of like ominous in a sense. I really liked the direction that they took there, which I think was very good. And yes, the whole Hedda having to try and find a way to support while everyone thought what was happening to Helm, I think was a really good dynamic. And also going into the glittering caves and going deep into the Hornberg. and also that really old woman there, which was the keeper. I think the she was guarding it with the dress. I think the dress was also very nice callback, and I think that was the strongest part of the movie up till yeah. But I think the only thing I think which if you're a casual audience or you're just someone who is watching you're sitting in for 2.5 hour anime, the bit where the siege tower took maybe about 30 to 40 minutes of plot time to like go across. And I think a lot of that could have just been skipped because at the end of the day, it's fun when the siege tower actually happened, but in retrospect, it did not take that long. And after Helm's, of course, death, that period between there until the final parts of the film, which is when, of course, they all face off. Hera faces off with her nemesis, Wolf. I think that could have happened a bit earlier. I don't think we needed that much build up. And I think that's where the film potentially drags on a bit because that period from when Helm dies to where Wolf and his army begins the siege and actually starts attacking the Hornburg and where Hera and Wolf face off. I think that period is where the film drags on a bit and where it could have been probably improved the best and made it maybe a bit more shorter and thus more enjoyable for just general audiences and even for us as well, because a lot of that was more newer stuff not in the lore as well during that period. But nevertheless, as mentioned earlier, the Freya laugh bit was good, and I think overall the voice acting was very good. The music was very good. And for War of the Rohirrim, I'm seeing this as just our return, our beginning of our return to Middle Earth. So I wasn't expecting too much, too crazy stuff. It's not live action, and the anime style is still something I have to get used to. But it is a stepping stone and just the beginning of potentially what's to come. So that is my thoughts on The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Let us know what you think tomorrow once the film is out and whether you agree or disagree with my views and what you also think about this upcoming film. And if you agree that this is the beginning and this is maybe just the first part where hopefully once you get to more live action parts like The Hunt for Gollum, it will get better, or if Warner Brothers should be putting more time and effort into reevaluating and seeing how their film should go. Personally, for me, I feel like we're still at a good place and that I am excited for The Hunt for Gollum. And this is just our beginning and step back into Middle Earth. But of course, some improvements and general overviews, as always, have to be looked at as well. So, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the film. Until the next video, my friends, goodbye.